we are 9 days away from the National Football League annual selection meeting, known as the draft.
Let's get it on.
Okay. And we're entering the crazy period with the quarterbacks. We're entering the crazy period with the quarterbacks where we're seeing the mock drafts all over the map. We got mock draft everywhere, all over the map. My colleague at the Worldwide Leader in Sports, Mel Kiper Jr., who's been at this a while, this talent evaluation thing for a while, in his latest mock draft, what .0 is it, Chris, for those scoring at home?
This is 4.0 from
Thank
Mel.
you. Okay.
4.0.
Mel's got the Dolphins sitting there at 5, not having to move. Although he says he doesn't do trades in his mock draft, I think the Lions are moving out of 3. I think someone's going to get itchy. Someone's going to get itchy at 5 and 6. Dolphins and Chargers, I think, need their quarterback of the future right here, right now. Can't wait. Got to go now. Certainly, if you're the Chargers, you don't think you're going to be around 6 again. You don't want to be around 6 again. The year before, my gosh, you were one and doneing Lamar Jackson. Now you're 6th overall. That's how things happen in the NFL. So you see your guy, you got to get your guy. I think somebody's going to get an itchy trigger finger and move up to the 3 at the Lions. Not going to be the first time you hear me say this over the next 8 days before the draft. 9 days. So that said, Mel's got the Dolphins just sitting there at 5, and the heavens open up, and the guy that we think they've been tanking for 2 straight years, despite Ryan Fitzpatrick's best efforts, it's just going to open up. They look up at the heavens, and there's Tua sitting right there in front of him. And Mel says they're going to go Justin Herbert instead. Like, what?
Say, huh?
What?
What now?
Could you imagine that happens?
No, I can't.
All right.
I can't believe that's going to happen.
And then, if that happens, then the heavens open up. Once again, you just look up to the sky, and the Chargers get Tua sitting right there.
Oh, baby. I could just picture those Tua billboards all over town.
Honestly.
All over town.
Right.
Up to 405, the 10, the 5.
Next to the guy
110.
Right, next to the guy that you call for personal injury questions.
That's right.
All over town.
Larry.
Whatever. I don't know who that person is. He's everywhere around here in L.A.
Saul Goodman?
No, that's by the way, great Better Call Saul last
Haven't
night.
seen it yet.
Oh, my gosh.
Haven't seen it yet.
Last 2 weeks have been straight out of Breaking Bad. It's amazing.
Last week's was phenomenal.
Oh, my gosh. But could you imagine the Chargers, they YOLO it for Brady, right?
Yep.
And don't get him.
Yeah,
and they're holding their powder on Cam or Jameis just to see what happens in the draft. And what happens in the draft is Tua drops to them? Huh?
Oh, baby.
Then you've got my compadre, Ian Rappaport, who's going to join us in the final hour of our show today, right in the middle of it. He's saying that forget all this conversation that Burrow's not number 1, okay, or that someone might trade up for him, but that may be possible. But according to Ian, he says this is when I just called him, all right, let's talk about this today. He tweeted out, I have not talked to one team that doesn't have LSU's Joe Burrow number 1 overall. He has not spoken to one team that's like, you know what, I got Chase Young here, I got that. No, it's Burrow 1 overall. So take Burrow out of the mix. Now you got Tua and Herbert, where that goes. Ian's saying the true wild card of the draft is Utah State's Jordan Love. And we've been hearing that now for weeks, right? Months. Even during the college football season. Keep an eye on this kid in Utah State. And your answer, I'm sure many of us across the country, was like, how do I catch Utah State football?
What conference is
he's
that?
right. How do I catch it?
What channel?
Calls him the true wild card of the draft with a draft window. Ready for it? Wait for it. 5 to 25.
I mean, that's a
large window.
Pretty big window, yeah.
But something I will say here again, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. You will hear me say this because I've heard it from Mayock over and over and over again all those years that I was sitting on the other end of the NFL Network draft set from him, parrying, if you will, with that man. Poor Mooch would sometimes be in between the two of us. And the number of times I heard that from him, hear it from Daniel Jeremiah, all of my draft evaluating friends from NFL Network and around the NFL globe. If you like the guy, and you deep down in your gut think this is the guy. This is my guy. This is not only the guy that's going to transcend everything, but he's the guy I can put out there in the community. This is going to be my guy. This is going to be my guy, and the coach thinks this is going to be my guy, and the evaluators go, all right, this is my guy. You go get the guy. You go get him. And you got to live with the consequences. As Bears fans will attest right now, here they are, Mitchell Trubisky, year 4. And they got to go get Nick Foles to push him. Got to get a push. You know who doesn't need a push? Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't need a push.
Nope.
Now, I remember that draft in Philadelphia. Mayock, it was literally
baby.
If Mayock ever had a bar mitzvah. Words I've never said before.
Mayock's bar mitzvah.
Mike Mayock's bar mitzvah.
That is
great fantasy football
great
team.
Fantasy
Great,
name.
okay?
Fantasy name.
But you have to use it when your fantasy team is 13 years old, okay? Not before. Today, your fantasy team is a man. If Mike Mayock ever had a bar mitzvah, it was at that Philadelphia draft. I mean, my gosh, right? He's in Philly. He doesn't have to go anywhere. Everybody knows him. He knows everybody from back in the neighborhood. Literally, it was like singing a cappella on a street corner like he was in Rocky.
Nice pull there.
Sitting at the Rocky steps. And I remember when the Chiefs traded up in that slot where, like, here comes Deshaun Watson. Right? The guy who can run the Philly system that Reed is bringing to Kansas City. Nope, it's Patrick Mahomes. If you think this is your guy, you go get the guy. And if the Dolphins have looked at Tua and looked at Herbert and fell in love with Jordan Love, guess who they're taking 5th overall? And then we'll sit back and watch. And hopefully for them, the 2 other guys that they didn't take don't turn out to be Mahomes and Watson like Ryan Pace and Bears fans have watched. So when you hear 5 and you're like, that's nutty, all it takes is 1.
5 would be crazy if Jordan Love goes 5, man.
All it takes is 1, which is why we love the draft. You never know. The reason why, Mike Del Tufo, my audio executive, that you have that heaven opening up drop is because of one Timothy Thibault. Just took 1 team to make him a first-round pick. Josh McDaniels after taking Demaryius Thomas earlier. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.